Hey all, Tom Moran here from Tom's Big Spiders. Well, it's been really cool lately because I've been contacted by a lot of people that have actually been trying out their first Poecilotheria species. As many of you know, and if you've watched my videos and channel and read my website, I'm a huge proponent for these guys. I think they kind of get a bum rap and they're demonized by the hobby because we want to make sure that people new to the hobby don't get in over their heads by picking up a potentially fast and defensive spider with a really nasty bite. So I do think we have to do our due diligence to make sure people are aware of the risk, but I also think we don't ever want to go overboard to the point where people won't even give them a look. And I've spent a long time trying to show what these guys can be like when they're treated with respect and with care. So this next video is going to feature two of my Poecilotheria subfusca, the Highland species and the Lowland species. They've basically been broken up, although they're still technically, taxonomy-wise, one species. The hobby's been keeping the two separated, and just in case there's a revision in the future that makes them two different spiders. I believe one of them might end up being Bara, but there's nothing on that yet. So for the time being, we just refer to them as Highland and Lowland. But anyway, really excited to rehouse these guys, and I got some good footage, I think, to show people what to look for with these guys as far as a calm spider or a spider that's using its natural camouflage to try to hide as opposed to bolting. So anyway, enough chit chat, enough talking. Let's get on to the actual video on the spider. All right, for this one, we're going to do two Poecilotheria. We're going to do Poecilotheria subfusca Highland and Poecilotheria subfusca Lowland, or it's often referred to as Poecilotheria bara. There's a lot of debate over whether they're two separate species. The hobby tends to keep them apart, although it hasn't been made official, and there'll still obviously need to be more taxonomical study to determine whether or not they're actually two different species. Right now, they're technically not, but the hobby treats them as such, Highland and Lowland. So we're going to start off with the subfusca Lowland. I had one of these mature out male. I did a rehousing not that long ago, and it matured out the smallest Poecilotheria male I have ever had. It's only about 3.5 inches or so, which kind of blew my mind a bit because most of my Poecilotheria males are quite long and gangly, at least 5.5 inches. And this one is tiny. I was actually shocked when I caught a silhouette of it in the light one morning when I came in and noticed the emboli, the male sex organs. I was totally taken aback because I thought it was going to be a female. So what we're going to do here, this one I just caught out the other day, and she definitely needs a rehousing. You can see her little butt right in there. Billy wants to get in. She's going right behind here. What we're going to try to do, I think, is drag her out, cup her, and get her into the new enclosure. Let me just make sure I have this one Lowland. So here we go. Yeah, we might be able to get her. No, she's going to squish down. So when they flatten out, they're basically, that's the best time to handle them. Can you see her? Because I can't. Oh, there she is.
Yep. No.
No, we want to stay on the cork bark. I'm going to get my hands out of the way because they will go right up tongs. Now, if I can get her out. Oh, there we go. If you want to get a shot of, I'm saying her, I'm praying it's a her because I ordered a bunch of the Poecilotheria species from Sri Lanka that were basically, they're very difficult to get a hold of in the US now. You can't order them across state lines. And basically, I am batting 3 males right now out of the ones I got. 2 Poecilotheria are not a males, and then one of these guys is males. So I'm praying that I get females. I had great luck getting females for pokies for a long, long time, and I seem to be paying for it now. So there she is, and this is, when I talk about rehousing pokies, and one of the reasons I wanted to do this one is I've noticed a lot of folks are picking up Poecilotheria species now. I've been getting a lot of feedback on my pokey video I did a few years back, trying to explain to people they're not as bad as they think. And the thing that tends to cause the most stress is the rehousings. The rehousings tend to be very stressful for people because if something's going to go wrong, that's when it's going to go wrong. So what I'm hoping to demonstrate here is that they can be contained. Try to decide whether or not I should just pick this whole thing up and put it in. Put this over her just in case. I keep saying her. Is she off the
Yeah, I think so.
All right, unfortunately, we're not going to get a good shot of her because the dirt fell off of this and right on top of her. So what I'm going to do is try to carefully brush her off. Now again, always, if you do what I just did there, always be careful if you just pick up the cork bark and move it over. I've had very good luck doing it, but keep in mind that at any time, if you decide to bolt, she's probably going right up the cork bark, right up the tongs, and right up your arm. So I'm just going to keep this over here. I feel bad. There she is. All right. And this is what I try to explain to people when I say that my experience with them is they're more shy. There she is right in there. They will do everything in their power. The majority of them will do everything in their power to just hide and stay camouflaged when they are being messed with. And eventually, now obviously, if I continue to prod her and she bolts, that's when they can go a little crazy. Usually what they will do is loop around the enclosures. So keep that in mind. They don't usually go straight up and out. They usually loop the enclosures, run around it. So that's something to keep in mind. But this is usually what I see for them. They will do everything in their power to just kind of stay low key, hide, hunker down. You'll see there she's kind of, I hate to say it, in the stress pose where she's got her knees pulled up over her carapace and her eyes. And she's desperately trying to just get me to leave her alone. So we are going to leave her alone. I'm going to go ahead and drop the water dish in. There you go. And then we're going to leave her alone so she can relax. But there we go. That one there, she's probably about 3.5 inches now. I, again, keep saying she. We'll see. I got a funny feeling if this next molt will tell us whether it's going to be a male or not because the male molted out after this molt here. So there we go. Poecilotheria subfusca. Lowland. Now we're going to do the Highland. It's actually bigger, and I'm thinking this enclosure is probably not going to last it very long, but let's see how it goes. Remind me afterwards to put some water in there.
I will do that.
All right, so let's get this out of the way. Now, just a comment for people who haven't watched my rehousing videos before. A lot of times if they get out, they run around, they'll go to a corner and hide. And if you put down some paper towel or cork bark, what usually will happen is they'll get underneath here and they'll hunker down for a bit. So they'll stop circling, or even worse, going up and over the enclosure or the container you're using to try to corral them. So I put these in here so that if she does bolt, she'll end up, or one of them does bolt, they'll end up in one of these corners underneath here, settle down. Then what you can do is carefully pick these up, cup them, and get them into the new enclosure. So this one here is quite a bit bigger and a little bit jumpy. So, and I hate these enclosures as far as the cylindrical enclosures. I get these, I was sent these from Tanya at Fear Not Tarantulas. You can get them online. I will try to remember to put a link. They are on Amazon, but that's not where I got them from. So I know people are going to ask. I know I'm probably going to forget the link, and I'm going to get a bunch of people asking where I got them from. And these ones here I also get from Amazon. I'll put a link to them. They're milky, as you can obviously see, but I find they're great for juvenile arboreals or fossorial species. They offer a nice deal of height, although this one I kind of went crazy with the hole, so I don't know if I'd be able to use it for a fossorial because there's not enough, you wouldn't be able to put enough depth of substrate in there, but love them for arboreals. I got a funny feeling this one's going to outgrow this one rather quickly, but we'll see if it's male too. And we get the catch cup ready. Where is it? It's down at the bottom. All right. And of course, it's going to. Now, if you look in here, what it did is as soon as I got the cork bark out, it buried itself under here. It is not trying to flee yet. I say yet because we don't want to jinx ourselves. And actually, if you look down in there, if you zoom in, look at the camouflage on it, because honestly, if you didn't know there was a spider in there, there it is right in the, you see the legs. They blend in beautifully with the background. Now, unfortunately, this won't fit in here.
What about the round one?
I'm going to see.
Not big enough?
I don't think it's going to want to come out. This is what I'm talking about right now. It's completely squished up. Yeah, it does not want to. And this is when people say, you know, again, it's the potential with these guys. If you read about the bites, you do not want to get bitten by one of these. And if they do get jacked up, they're hell on wheels. I mean, they will bolt all around. But normally when you mess with them, they do not. I haven't, knock on wood, seen the defensive behavior. I see elusive. They're trying to hide. They're trying to stay camouflaged. So let's see if I can get this one up and out. Although sometimes you don't want to get them going. You can help it. For crying out loud. Use the moss to hold this. Can you see it? Because I can't.
No.
Oh, I see it now. Attacking the paintbrush. All right.
Not rolled.
Yeah. Dude, come on. This is the cylindrical ones. I warn anybody that uses these, I like them. I will probably continue to use them. But when you get one of the hot species in here, it does make things a bit more stressful. Boom.
Wow. That was
Okay.
amazing.
So
It's got its little foot up the top of the
Aw. So there we go. I don't know if you're going to be able to... Well, look at that's a new one. No,
He's saying hello.
There's a little close-up of their feet. Can you see the claws? I don't know if you can see the claws on the toe claws. Probably not. But I'm sure people that are familiar with the species, feel free to chime in. I've had people very accurately sex them by just looking at the patterns. If this is a species you can do that with, feel free to chime in. I'd love to know, because I want to know if I should start crying now because I didn't get any females. We can put the cap back on.
Yeah, There's a small one right here, maybe. Just at the top or something.
See if I get the brush in. Get the brush in the butt. So
It's sort of a little bit going down.
I'll try to get them on that cork bark and around the end of it. And of course, it's too fat. This is something I should have fixed from when we did the other ones. Come on, go down. Go down. Go down. Come on.
Oh, yeah,
There you go.
okay.
That should go around the back of the cork bark. Or, oh, no, that's not what we want. And that's what we want. All right, so I'm going to try to get this out of the way. See if you can get a shot of it. A good one for the thumbnail. I hope this is a female. I'm going to be so bummed.
Holy mackerel.
They're just gorgeous. So again, I know folks that have raised these guys or had the species longer than I do, probably can tell just by looking at it, because some of them you can tell by the patterns on the abdomen or the patterns on the carapace. There's all kinds of, I am not as familiar with those. I would have to look it up and do a search on it. So if anybody, wants to chime in what they think it is, feel free, so that I can prepare myself if I'm not getting a female. I'm praying to God that I get a female though. So there we go. That is Poecilotheria. Yeah, we can't put it in right now because she's right in the way, so I'm going to have to drop it in afterwards.
Okay.
Poecilotheria subfusca Highland. I love the looks of these guys. I'm praying to gosh that I get a lady here. Now, again, for care, just for people that it's expected the slings are going to burrow. I get a lot of people that email me or message me very concerned because they set them up in the arboreal setups and like it's not doing any of the arboreal behaviors I'm expecting. It's burrowing. That's what they do. What this one will do here is go behind this cork bark, use some of the moss, use some of the leaf litter I have in here, build like some curtains around it, and they'll hide in there. I still have adult Poecilotheria species that, although they have the arboreal setups, have kind of dug dens behind the cork bark, so almost act semi-fossorially, if that's even a phrase. But as you can see here in this enclosure, I have the cork bark. You can use cork bark rounds, cork bark flat. We have leaf litter because I just like the way it looks. We have a dog slurping in the background, which is honestly very distracting when you're trying to talk. It's just my life. And we have the moss. We will put in a water dish. I do use water dishes for everything. Get ready because I do have a video coming up about water dishes. I haven't waded into that whole thing in a while, but I feel like I have to now. And I found that these ones grow a little more slowly than some of the other ones. So my Regalis grew very, very quickly. These guys are probably half the speed of Regalis, more closer to the Poecilotheria metallicas that I raised by themselves. And temperatures, I know I've read stuff out there that they need super high temperatures. but that is not the case. Obviously, with any tarantula species, the higher temperatures you give it, the faster metabolism, the faster they'll grow. But these guys have been kept in usually like 70 degrees or so. Yesterday it actually hit 82 in there, which is rare for my tarantula room, but they grow perfectly fine at room temperature. So there we go, 2 Poecilotheria species rehoused, went rather smoothly. Trick with these guys is if they do start to bolt, they still start to run around, you've lost your opportunity. Put the cover back on, come back later. What the behavior you just saw is what I'm looking for when I rehouse them to make sure that I get a clean and uneventful rehousing. So I was glad that one went really well because, again, I want to show these guys how I see them, which is overall, if you give them respect and you allow them to remain calm, they're not that difficult to deal with. I've actually had more difficult rehousings with some of my New World species than my Poecilotheria. But again, that does not mean that the potential isn't there, and I don't want anybody to ever misconstrue what I'm saying to mean they're a safe spider or that you should, not be careful with them. I just want to make sure people know that they're not as bad as some people make them out to be, that a lot of us deal with them and deal with a lot of different species of them, work with them well, and don't have any issues. So hopefully this helped to illustrate, A, that they don't have to be something you're scared of, and B, how to go about and rehouse them so that the spider stays calm at all times. So that will do it for this one. As always, if you want to check out some more videos, I will put them over there. If you'd like to subscribe, very much appreciated. You can check the little circle up there. Please feel free to leave a comment. I answer all comments, although it can take me a few days now because I've been getting a lot of them and I've been getting behind. So anyway, if you take the time to comment, no, I will take the time to respond back to you. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you all next time.